Ryan Howard tried to make a play, but in a flash, Lexi Hull pounced, knocking the ball free and stealing it clean. That single moment, the steal heard around Indiana, was the exclamation point on a night when the Fever, battered and undermanned, refused to bow out. For a franchise haunted by nearly a decade without a playoff series win, this was no ordinary possession. This was survival, redemption, and the rebirth of a team that had carried scars for too long. This wasn't just basketball. This was a gut-check challenge. Win or go home. With 6 players sidelined, anger still simmering from officiating controversies, and nothing left to lean on but pride and grit, Indiana entered Game 3 against the Atlanta Dream with no safety net. The stakes could not have been heavier, and when the final buzzer sounded, they had done the unthinkable. For the first time since 2015, the Indiana Fever were headed back to the WNBA Semifinals. The journey to that moment stretched beyond 40 minutes of play. It carried the weight of 10 years of frustration. 10 years since Tamika Catchings was still leading the way. 10 years since Stephanie White was in her first stint as head coach. 10 years since Natasha Howard was just starting her career. The league had transformed in that time, yet the Fever's drought loomed like a shadow. This wasn't just another playoff series, it was history knocking on their door once again. The challenge, though, was staggering. Caitlin Clark out, Sophie Cunningham out, Sydney Colson, Chloe Bibby, Ari McDonald, Damiris Dantas, all on the injury list. A roster stripped bare, forced to stretch every ounce of talent and chemistry simply to compete. Outside that locker room, nobody believed they could do it. But inside, desperation turned into defiance. That vacuum of expectation became their weapon. Pre-game interviews said it all. Kelsey Mitchell sat calm, her face set, carrying the quiet knowledge that she'd have to be the offensive engine. Aaliyah Boston, steady and composed, radiated confidence, bracing for the pounding she'd take in the paint. Across from them, Atlanta was healthy, home court strong, and favored. The crowd inside Gateway Center Arena roared with anticipation, ready to watch Indiana's season end. But the Fever chose fight over fear. Kelsey Mitchell lit the spark. Her 24 points anchored Indiana's offense, with 19 coming before halftime. Every time Atlanta swarmed her, loading the paint, she found another way to keep Indiana alive, whether through assists, blocks, or simply by refusing to disappear. Her relentless attacking set the tone for the night. In the paint, Aaliyah Boston carved her own path. Matched against the bigger Bree Jones, she fought possession after possession with poise beyond her years. Her 14 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists didn't tell the whole story. Every rebound came through traffic. Every assist felt like oxygen. Every bucket a counterpunch to Atlanta's momentum. Around them, others stepped up. Natasha Howard's hustle created possessions that didn't exist, clawing back loose balls and keeping Indiana alive. Odyssey Sims, fearless and aggressive, drove at defenders again and again, piling up 16 points and 8 assists while bringing veteran leadership when the team needed it most. Brianna Turner anchored the defense, contesting shots and protecting lanes in crucial moments. Aerial Powers in limited minutes brought raw energy, diving, hustling, sparking her teammates to raise their level. The Fever weren't leaning on one star. They were piecing together survival with grit from every corner of the roster. And yet, the defining moment of the game fell to the player who had struggled most of the night. Lexi Hull couldn't buy a bucket. Open looks clanged out. Shots rimmed off. Her confidence wavered but never broke. She dug in on defense, waiting, hoping for a chance. With under 30 seconds left, down by 1, Kelsey Mitchell drove for a layup, cutting the deficit. On the next possession, Hull buried a three-pointer, silencing the crowd and giving Indiana life. Then, with 7.4 seconds left, came the play that changed everything. Atlanta inbounded the ball, their season hanging in the balance. Hull read the pass before it left the hand, lunged, and stole it clean. It wasn't just a steal, it was salvation. Odyssey Sims sealed it at the free throw line, but Hull's steal will forever be the play that ended the drought. A night of missed shots transformed into the defining moment of her career and of Indiana's season. That play became the embodiment of what the Fever had preached all year. No excuses, no matter the struggle. Even when frustration mounts, when the odds are stacked, when shots won't fall, you deliver when your team needs you most. The final buzzer triggered an eruption 10 years in the making. Players embraced like kids again. Kelsey Mitchell clung to her teammates, her relief and joy impossible to hide. Aaliyah Boston sat with tears in her eyes, feeling the weight of history lift. Lexi Hull clutched the game ball as if it were treasure, raising it to the cameras. For veterans like Brianna Turner and Odyssey Sims, it was validation, proof that their fight mattered. And from the bench, Caitlin Clark, out with injury but every bit a part of the family, cheered and waved towels all night long, later posting in all caps, "Fever Show." Stephanie White told her players afterward, "It doesn't matter the circumstance, the score, or the time. They always find the next play. They always find a way." But as sweet as the celebration was, reality loomed. Up next stood the Las Vegas Aces, Aja Wilson, Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young, and the reigning champions. Becky Hammond sent her warning. Indiana hadn't seen the real Aces yet. A best-of-5 series against the deepest roster in the league was waiting. The Fever knew the task only grows from here. Still, what happened in Atlanta was more than just advancement. It was rebirth. 10 years of waiting ended not with excuses, but with resilience, grit, and belief. A fractured roster became a family. A decade of frustration gave way to hope. And for one night in Georgia, the Indiana Fever proved that toughness can defy the odds. So now, the question falls to you. Was this victory just a spark in the dark, or the moment that cements the Fever's rise for years to come? Let us know down in the comments how proud you are of Indiana's fight. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next chapter in this story.